Hey, what's up, flashlight nerds? Today is going to be story time about how I was going to start reselling Convoy M2 flashlights, and then I decided not to. And a bit of an ode to the Convoy M2. It's a really great flashlight. So, people who have been watching my other videos know that I'm searching for the perfect tactical flashlight, like a lot of other people. And there's a lot of really good Chinese lights out there. So you basically have the firearms community who thinks that you should be able to hammer in nails with your flashlight and drive over it with forklift. And then you have Chinese flashlight community who's like, I don't care if your hand gets set on fire by the flashlight or if you have to click 15 times to get to high or whatever. And there's not a lot of overlap there. And there's a lot of people who are like, I want to turn my flashlight on and have it be bright and not have any bad things happen. And I thought, I think this is an underserved market. Maybe I can help. So I've gone through all these other flashlights. We got this O-Light here, not enough candela. S21B, not enough candela. Cloud defensive. They sure charge a lot. Made in America, super tough. But it gets really hot because they don't know what a buck driver is. Mod light, it's really great if you're made of money, $310. Still not that much candela because they don't know what a CULPM1 LED is from Osram. They still haven't discovered it yet. We're waiting. KR1, it's good if you like Anduril. I don't. It sucks. M21B, it's too big. S6, this is the my wife won't carry a flashlight, but she needs it flashlight. Maybe someone should sell modded versions of these. I'm not gonna. Then we have the HRT AWLS. This flashlight's great. This one is $300. So it's a little bit much. And it's still a little bit bigger than the Convoy. And it's about the same brightness. And it has shorter overall runtime, as we'll see. So I don't know. It's okay. I use this one too. And then we have the Convoy M2. And I have modified this. And this flashlight is fantastic. I have all these flashlights. I have $1,600 flashlights. Some of them cost $300. A lot of them spend their time disassembled in a drawer. And this is the one that I keep at my bedside for when I hear some kind of noise and I have to go check it out, or when I just need to look around the house. This is a fantastic flashlight. And so I talked online about the M2. I was like, this seems really good, but it has these problems. And I talked about it in a previous video. It gets too hot. It has a stupid reverse clicky switch. I hate those. It doesn't come with a battery, so I had to figure out what's the best battery. For people who care about durability, it's not potted. And so they're like, oh, if you drop it, it might break. We will see that that is not the case. So I posted to Reddit. I said, it feels like there's probably a market for someone who could fix the flaws in an M2 and sell the result marked up to like $100 for people who want tactics on a budget. Buck driver, remove the LED and the reflector, maybe use a different one. Mod it to a forward clicky switch. It'd be a winner. And then I realized I'm someone. I can do this. I could modify this flashlight and I could start selling it. And so I started down the path of doing that. First off, I was like, I need to test a bunch of things about this because I know people are going to shit on this flashlight and be like, it's not as durable as this guy. I'm like, sure, it's not. So I tossed it in the air a bunch of times. Almost first thing, the glass broke. So that tells us something. This is probably just regular sodium glass, not particularly tough. I don't think that's really a problem because I'm not hammering nails with it. So, and when it breaks, the flashlight still works just fine. And arguably comes even more tactical because now you can hit your opponent with broken glass. So, right, it's an advantage. That's how we turn our disadvantages into advantages. Someone could potentially replace this with, I don't know, a moissanite window or something like that, or quartz, whatever. That's for someone else to do. I'm not gonna. Otherwise, it was pretty good. Nothing broke. I've dropped this one, which is unpotted, on the floor a million times, and it doesn't care. So then people say, oh, the water resistance on them too is bad. They're rumors. Nobody bothers to test, even though the test is put it in some water. But I guess that's a little too much for most people. So anyway, I put in some water. I'll show it here, but it's fine. It has only one O-ring in it, and somehow it forms a nice watertight seal. So that's cool. If somebody really cared, they could do some more stuff to waterproof it. I don't care enough. Why are you leaving your flashlight in a puddle and then hoping it'll work? It's weird to me that the tactical flashlight both simultaneously occupies this niche of critical life-saving equipment, but also you're hammering nails with it and leaving it in a puddle for a long time. And like, why are you mistreating your equipment? Like, you know, a radio might be life-saving equipment and you don't bash it against a rock to test its durability. You treat it like it's important life-saving equipment. So I don't really understand people's imaginary durability requirements there, but whatever. And so then I had to change the driver and the switch because the driver, it makes it double as a hand warmer, which is good if your hands are cold, but it sucks the rest of the time. And I was also sort of like, why is all that energy going to heat? I want it to go to light. Switching to a buck driver didn't really fix that, but whatever. And I hate reverse clicky switches. They suck. Also, the tactical light, it's really useful to be able to just blink it for a second. And with reverse clicky, you're committed to on. You can pulse it off. I don't know. It's not super helpful. So I was like, I gotta switch those out. See, I got a whole bunch of switches from Simon because yes, we're on a first name basis with some dude in China who makes flashlights. He makes a really nice buck driver that's 5 amps that can go in this, and he makes these forward clicky switches. Why he won't install them in the M2, just for you, it's sort of beyond me, but whatever. I was like, hey, I guess that'll be my opportunity. Then I was searching for the perfect battery. So garbage, low capacity, stupid Olight battery, nobody needs that. Here's a Mod Light button top cell. It's all right, it's kind of big. Why is it button top? Also, Cloud is like, you must have unprotected, and Mod Light is, you must have protected. So maybe they should get together and figure out their story because they both think they're right. Here's a Samsung 35E. This is a really great battery. Here's a Molicel. I can't remember what this one is. Whatever. It's a button top. It's protected. It's really nice if you need a longer battery. I think it actually looks kind of cool. It's got this metal stripe going down the side. I know that's the protection circuit, but it's neat. Then we've got the most expensive battery here. I think it was like $25 for this Nitecore, but check it out. USB-C recharging in the cell. Really sweet. And for no particular reason, they made the top hexagonal. Also cool. Way to go, Nitecore, or whoever they're rebranding it from. I thought this battery was just awesome. I was like, this will probably get included in one of my SKUs. I'll ship that because it's really neat. And then vape cell. I wish they would tell me which one it was. 4,000 milliamp hour battery. Really cool, huh? That's higher capacity than everything else here. We got 36, we got 3,500, and then we got 4,000. But it turns out that this guy is the winner. So this gave me an hour and 54 minutes of runtime, just shy of 2 hours. It's too bad. I was like, oh, I'm going to have marketing copy, 2 hours of runtime. It's pretty incredible. But no, I'm not, because no one makes a battery that does that. This guy, I can't remember how much runtime, but it wasn't enough. This one, we got 3.6 amp hours to 3.5 in this. This one ran for 5 fewer minutes. So I don't know. And then I finally got these in the mail. I was like, all right, this is going to go over 2 hours, isn't it? No, this has even less runtime than this. Maybe it's 4,000 milliamp hours. Maybe there's some way to wring that out of it, but not with this flashlight. I don't know what the deal is, but I'm not ordering more of those. So whatever. So then addressing additional concern, people are probably like, oh, I'm going to, drop the light once and it might break. And it's like, yeah, I mean, that's a legitimate concern. You might drop your light once and, you can't go replace it. So you should treat it carefully, but hey, drop it once. Or maybe some weird situation occurs where you need your flashlight and then you drop it once. It shouldn't break, right? So I don't think it's going to break, but in order to assuage people's fears, I was going to pot it. And that would be like a competitive differentiator, because if Simon starts selling modded M2s with all these things, he's probably not going to pot the drivers, right? So I potted them. I bought some nice epoxy. Here we go. This is very thermally conductive epoxy. It's kind of annoying to work with. It takes 3 days to set up when it's being heated. And as a bonus, it smells like dead fish the whole time. So this is how much I love you guys. I'm smelling dead fish here in my office while the epoxy's curing so that I can make these really good flashlights that ultimately I think I'm not going to get into the business of selling. So anyway, potted a bunch of drivers. I'll try to put a picture here, but who knows if I'll remember during editing. Then I tested the candela. I tested the color temperature. Of course, it's great. So we get, I think, about 86K candela out of this flashlight. And The claim on the HRT is 90K. It is a little bit more. It's a few percent. So basically, for the price difference between whatever I set the price of this to be and $300, you lose like 5% output. Ha! I ran out of disk space. Anyway, so this light lasts for about 2 hours at max, well, not quite maximum brightness. So it goes maximum, then it goes to half, and it stays at half for the remainder of the time, a long time. And half is already above the like 40K candela threshold. So it stays bright enough to blind people for 2 hours. And then after that, it goes into an emergency, or not emergent, it goes into a low battery emergency flashing mode that's really annoying, but it lasts for 5 hours. So if you were to go hiking with this and then you're like, uh-oh, it's getting dark, this would probably give you enough light to be able to get home. It would last through most of the night, which is pretty incredible because most of these lights are designed to burn bright for an hour and a half to 2 hours, and then they just die. I'll include some footage here. But it has fantastic battery life, which I didn't expect. I got the buck driver, I installed it, and I got what I got. But I was like, this is really great. It's nice to know. Also, the stupid therm switchback thing, this guy, I mean, really, it's awesome. I love this thing. But it won't go on because somebody decided to machine this little lip into the flashlight, and that exactly blocks the therm from going on. So, too bad. No fun flipping for you. Also, I kept forgetting to mention, but this is actually an aftermarket clip that doesn't originally belong in this flashlight, but it's really great. This is the clip that I use. The one it comes with kind of sucks. It doesn't allow for deep carry. So anyway, custom clip. Forgot about that, but that's in all these boxes. And then I set up a store. I had a Shopify store. Shopify wanted to charge me $40 a month for nothing. And I was like, yeah, that's really great. It feels kind of user hostile. And then I went to cancel that when I decided I was going to not do this anymore. And Shopify was like, oh, oops, all of our website works except for the cancel your account page. And it's like, oh, wow, what a coincidence. The page that costs them money doesn't work, but every other page does. And so it turns out that the page that lets you change your credit card info does work. And I changed it to a card that has a $1 limit. And then they figured out how to cancel my account. So thanks, Shopify. I'm glad that you finally figured it out with a little bit of help. So I had done all this, eventually I gave up. And I realized that I didn't have a marketing channel to sell these. I didn't have a stream of people who are at the intersection of tactical flashlight and flashlight community that I could sell to. I don't want to spam the subreddits with, hey, I sell these flashlights or whatever. I wanted to be able to say, this is why this flashlight is the best. Please buy it. And I just realized I didn't have a good channel to sell flashlights regularly enough to justify doing this. And I have a lot of other projects going on. So that's why I decided to get out of it after, building my 5 lights. Though I'll sell these $120. Feel free to let me know. They're the best light you can get for the price. For marketing, I could have gone the Goonbeam route. Goonbeam seems to show up in a lot of threads about tactical flashlights, or just show up in forums, and they're like, hey, anyone heard of these cool Goonbeam flashlights? And they're like, oh yeah, those are really interesting. And I'm pretty sure it's just the guy who owns the shop saying that. And I got someone commenting on one of my videos. He's like, hey, great video, man. Thank you. Have you had a chance to check out the Assault Light? Yeah, Assault Light. Let me know what you think. It's a pretty crazy light. Yeah, it's an Ammo Torch XT35, but marked up by about $80. So just buy the Ammo Torch if you want it. I tried to buy one. The post office lost it, and PayPal refunded me. And I did not try to buy a second one because I realized I don't care that much. But in theory, it's a pretty bright light, but it sounds like the UI is super annoying. So that's why I gave up. The UI on this is you turn it on and you turn it off. That's the way it should be. So anyway, that's why I decided to start selling these flashlights. And then I decided not to start selling them, except for these 5. If you want them, let me know. But that's my odyssey into the Convoy M2. It's a great flashlight. I love this one. Got a little bit of IKEA effect going on because, I've heavily customized it. I made it myself. But I think it's maybe not the business for me to get into. But if anyone wants any advice about it, I'd be happy to help you. Just let me know.